Okay, I believe that I'm ready to begin. How do you guys feel about beginning?
Pretty good, yeah.
Very good. Little sniffly. I think I'm gonna be weird on camera.
I'm feeling a little. Let's all take a sniffle real quick before the show starts.
Big sniff.
Okay, great. Good.
Let's interview.
This is Asheville Notes, the reformat of Asheville 8 Note, Asheville 8 parentheses PM into parentheses notes, a live stream that I did that you guys were on. This is Sun Goblin. We've got James and Dan and Aurora and Kev down the line, guitar, bass, singing, and acoustic guitar, and drums. And you were on that last show. Now you're on the new show. This is episode 2.
Hell yeah.
Episode 2!
That's right, I didn't give up after one episode. That's a good sign. I'm Sam Urban, the host. We've got Grayson Stoik behind the camera, assistant engineer. Yes.
Your last name is Stoik?
Approval all around for Grayson. What? Paladin.
Yes.
We've decided. Yes, and I'm going to ask you some questions now. We just recorded a single. That's the format of this new show, is that I'm producing singles for local bands, local singles. And
So we can mingle.
the episode will look something like, first, this interview. This is the first thing that everybody's seeing, after a little bit of a teaser of the song. And then some behind-the-scenes footage, BTS. And then the actual song itself with some performance footage, and then a little bit of a mixing tutorial of how I put it all together. But yeah, first things first, I'm going to ask you some questions. The reporter's questions. Starting with what? So what is Sun Goblin? What is the band? What genre? What instruments? We already talked about it.
Sun Goblin is the greatest rock and roll band of all time.
Good, asked and answered. Next, who? We already answered that too.
We
Really fly
thread
through
this question all the time. We're folk rock, but we sometimes lean a little bit heavier than maybe your typical folk rock bands in terms of instrumentation. These guys are really, really versatile. Kevin throws in some crazy shit on the drums sometimes, and so they've taken what were my pretty simple folk rock songs and made them a lot more interesting. I always tell people if they ask what would happen if Fleetwood Mac and Heart kind of had a baby, but we don't have any backing vocals.
Right. I know we could have recorded some, just, a phantom vocals.
If we had written them.
Oh, yes, of course.
I could have.
Not to put that on all of you. But yeah, it's very bluesy, very vocal-centric. Anybody else want to field, how this band fits into your... Because maybe all of you, have multiple artistic projects going on for sure. I know you two are in another band together. And I know Rory's heading up some poetry jams around town. Mm-hmm. And Dan, you're a busy guy.
I do. Yeah.
I do.
I do busy.
You said a couple bands. What are the other bands?
Oh man.
Do you want to talk into
how
this
much
microphone?
time you got? We got our cover band is Big Blue. That's like bar band, wedding band, whatever. We got Beekeepers is current original project. Rory with the merch plug.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Uh-huh. Buy our shit.
Natural Born Leaders at the moment as well.
Yeah.
And I think that's it.
That sounds like a good list.
And we have the Murths, too.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Well, as far as me and James.
Yeah.
The Murths?
Many of them.
Another cover wedding band.
Oh, I see.
That doesn't get out much.
That's like our Lazoom band.
Yeah.
We need more mirth these days. It's a shame that mirth isn't more plentiful. I'm just kidding. It's been a really nice, fun day, I think, of making music.
Today's been nice.
Yeah. So how does Sun Goblin, fit into, compared to other bands? What do you get out? What do you express in this ensemble?
For me personally, it's nice to be able to, have the camaraderie with these guys, but then also, like Rory said, a lot of these songs, if not most of them, are initially composed by Rory on guitar, and then it's my job is just to show up and play bass, and that's really nice too.
Okay,
And,
sorry about that.
Like the other stuff I have going on, at least at this point in time, is more like studio songwriting kind of stuff. So this is my outlet to like play loud and play with a band and play bass, which is the instrument I'm most comfortable on. So it's cool that like I feel like whatever I want to contribute is welcome, but also if I just show up and play bass, I'm still doing what is expected of me.
Yeah, holding it down.
Yeah,
Although with the occasional slick slide.
Yeah.
I do slide from time to time. Yeah.
The groove, the flow of this music of Sun Goblin stuff is really nice. I mean, like the soaring lyrics and the guitar gets kind of crunchy, you know, but it all feels very like soulful to me.
Thank you.
Let's see. I have other questions to ask you too. I got a little distracted by the tech behind me, but I'm trying to organize this in terms of what, who, when, where, and why. So maybe I'll let you take your pick. Where do we want to go next?
Why?
Yeah, why?
Why not, Sam?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, I mean, it takes a lot of time to devote to a project like this.
I guess that would be a good why not. Yeah.
Yeah, you can devote that time to, you know, anything, collecting gold bricks.
Earning a living,
Oy.
supporting your family.
Oy.
Oof.
Oof.
Yikes. Yeah, we got furniture movers in here. What is the day job going down the line?
Furniture across the board, but James is a nurse.
Okay,
I'm a nurse. I have delved into furniture moving business as well.
He got his feet wet.
My past days.
I'm technically the sustainability director of a moving company, but they still have me move stuff from time to time.
Yeah, and I'll edit this part out if you want me to, but you said that you're about to move, right? Tell me a little bit about, are these guys going to help you move your furniture?
I'll get you a good price for it.
I haven't had any lack of help moving in the time that I have known these guys. Dan did help me move, right?
We moved in.
Yeah, you moved me in this last time. Hell yeah. Kev's helped me move before. As far as like loading up the U-Haul, maybe they'll help. And you know, if they don't, it's okay too. They can be mad at me for leaving.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be tough. Do you think Sun Goblin will continue in like a long distance relationship kind of thing?
I hope so, at least in the vibe of like that we get together once a year when we come together, maybe have some reunion shows here and there. I'm going to miss these guys like crazy. I've never had a band that I liked as much as I like Sun Goblin. And so it's actually like heartbreaking to make the choice to leave what we've made here behind. So I hope that there's some version of us that still exists down the line, whatever that looks like. I just like want to keep making music with these guys in whatever capacity we can.
Me too. I'm going to cry. Just thinking about it.
Don't cry, Sam, then I'll cry.
We already had our sniffles.
The big cry.
Oh, in the meantime, you're going to soak it up, right? We just had a blast recording here. But you've got a show coming up on Black Friday.
Yeah.
Tell me about what's planned for that. Nobody will see this until afterwards, so you're not going to spoil anything.
Yeah, I was curious when this is coming out.
We're playing at Highland Brewing. We got into New Belgium earlier this year, around like April. And then we had almost like a 6-month hiatus, and we were supposed to play in Highland in May, and then I had a death in the family, and it kind of had us take some time off. So we've been waiting to play Highland for a minute, and we've like booked it and rebooked it, and then they canceled it, and then we rebooked it. So we're really excited because we haven't gotten to play there, and it turns out that Black Friday is supposed to be one of their best days of the year. They've got Cold Mountain out now, and so we're super stoked to play. We're going to be doing most of our originals, probably sparing some of like the sadder ones that are like not quite the vibe, and then quite a few covers as well, including things like Love Fool, Barracuda by Heart. We're going to play some Toto. We're going to do a little Rosanna. It's going to be a real good time. We like to choose very tasteful covers.
That's great. Like, I was wondering, your other show is supposed to be on Halloween, right? So are you going to play like the Monster Mash?
No.
Or
That was vetoed hard.
I'm very anti.
We're very anti-Monster Mash. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
How
you a Monster
dare
Mash
you?
guy?
I'm
Sam.
pro Monster Mash. Maybe we should move on.
There's nothing but division in this country.
We had a Halloween show a couple years ago, and we did the Misfits Halloween, and we like Rory wrote some lyrics for our instrumental rendition of the Godfather theme. That was fun.
Okay, cool.
It was about how if God is a father, he's a bad one.
Yeah,
Thanks, Dad.
feeling pretty abandoned.
But I don't know if there's any like Thanksgiving covers people really want to hear.
There should be, but
We
I
should-
don't. Besides,
We talked
Alice's
about doing
restaurant.
Dominic the Donkey,
the
but it's
Thanksgiving
Tony the
song, yeah.
Turkey.
Tony the Turkey would be a banger.
Any songs about turkeys?
Tony the Turkey.
I'm unfamiliar with
The Italian Thanksgiving turkey. La, la, la.
You know Dominic the Donkey? You know that song?
I don't.
Man. Grayson does.
Grayson, take it away.
Of course. Can't grow up in Jersey without hearing that song.
That's right, man.
Oh yeah, I got so much Jersey in the room at the
Yeah.
moment.
You're outnumbered, man.
Where are you from again?
I'm from the worst part of Texas.
Oh, that's right.
No one should ever go to.
Scorpions.
Shout out Midland, Odessa. Never go there.
And where are you about to go?
You mean moving? Mm-hmm. To Washington State.
Gotcha. That's so far away.
Yeah.
Mountains. How long have you all been in Asheville?
I've been about 13 years, upstate New York originally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool. For some reason I was thinking you were Jersey too.
Oh, man.
Now, South Canada.
He never cut it in Jersey. Man.
I also thought you were for Jersey, so I have had that wrong our whole friendship too.
I would never.
Dan and Kev, you've been here how many years?
Kev's got
I'm
me
pushing
a
10.
little bit, yeah. So
you're
I
like
guess I'm 8.
Something like 8-ish.
And I moved here in 2020, so I'm on year 6.
Okay. Gotcha. Very cool. That's
about
the
you?
where segment. Oh,
Are you grew up?
I grew up in Brevard.
Yeah.
You can go there. It's fine. It's safe. It was too safe. It was very quaint. It was like a very, I couldn't wait to get out. But now I like going there. Hike or whatever.
Yeah.
John's Rock.
Nice. That's a good rock.
It is, yeah. I'm glad we agreed. We can't see eye to eye on Monster Mash.
No.
John's Rock coming together.
Reaching across the aisle for John's Rock.
All right, we got what? We got why? We got where? Who? I think we know. I did want to ask if when you said you're playing a lot of original tunes at this upcoming gig, you've got the album out that everybody should check out. What's the name of your album again?
It's just an EP. There's 5 songs. It's called Emergence, First Mud. Sun Goblin, Emergence, First Mud. So there's those 5 tunes. And then we have like 5 or 6 others that aren't recorded yet. You just added one more to that. So
Hey,
now we
nice.
like have more recorded than we have not recorded. So that's nice. Thanks, Sam.
We're over the threshold.
Yeah, we're above 50% now.
Cool.
Nice. So what else? When we talked about the show that's coming up, but when do you guys, play music? What's your general routine like? Are you practicing? Are you writing stuff in any sort of like consistent, regular basis? Like, how do you find time?
I feel like it kind of ebbs and flows. Like not a straight uniform answer.
I think it has a lot to do with how good I'm doing at booking us, where it's like if we've got shows coming up, we tend to be getting up pretty consistently. And then when I fall off the bandwagon booking us, we maybe don't get up as often because we've all got things to do if there's no show on the horizon.
Yeah, that makes sense to me. Deadlines are motivating.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed.
But I mean, you're really in the pocket. The recording process today felt very easy. I mean, each of you only took like 2 or 3 takes, and yeah, really locked in. We haven't mixed it or anything, but we were just listening through it. And it sounds like a full song pretty immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, man.
That's great. Yeah, a cinch.
It's
That's one of my
the
favorite.
environment of the urban studios that provided that.
Oh, sure. Thanks. I'll accept
Yeah,
that.
we sucked before we walked in here. I don't know what you did, but
Yeah.
thanks.
You know what? I will take all the credit.
Yeah. You can have it.
No, you guys are great. You're very talented. Why are you talented? We already went over why stuff. How actually is the next question, though. You know, how do you develop these kind of skills? You know, if there's anybody watching this who is just a hobbyist or aspires to express themselves or wants to do music semi-professionally or find gigs, you know, do you have any sort of unasked for advice about how to go about doing
Just
it?
have AI generate you a song and put your own little spin and put it on TikTok and monetize it. That's what I would say.
Sounds right.
Something that I really admire about all of these dudes that I feel like I don't have in myself is I notice a lot of like discipline between the three of these guys and like the amount of like work ethic they put into their craft playing. And it's not that I don't practice. I do practice, but for me, vocals in particular feels easier to practice in kind of a free space where I can just like be really loud. And so it's like I get most of my practice walking around the house in my bathrobe, you know, whereas like these guys take concentrated time to work on their instrument and their craft. And if I'm going to like work on guitar, I have to like really like force myself to be in a disciplined mode. It doesn't come to me naturally. And so they all really impress me with how disciplined they are at their instruments. Whereas mine feels more like,
You get to use your voice all the time. You're
That's true.
practicing right now.
I feel like a lot of it too, without trying to read too far into it, but is just sort of getting out of your own way. Like, I feel like it's kind of human nature or like tendency if you're in a band situation and if you're recording something, it's like as the bass player, we were talking about this earlier before I recorded, it's like the tendency to like, I'm going to play the greatest bass line of all time, and whoever hears this song is going to be so blown away by what the bass player is doing. But if you can kind of approach it more objectively and like what serves the song, to answer your question about like what advice I would give to somebody who's like trying, you know, like I feel like that makes a big difference there. And I think when you listen back to it, it makes a difference. That would be my advice.
well said.
Serve the song.
Yeah, absolutely. I like that thought. The KISS method, right? Keep it simple, stupid.
Oh, I thought you meant like, you know,
Detroit Rock City.
They do serve the song for the audience. Yeah, it's interesting because like if you, you're putting yourself in a different mode of thinking to try to be objective and serve the song, even though it's still ultimately subjective because you're like then thinking about all the songs that you like, or like what you think makes a good song. Mm-hmm. But it is nice to create that space, I guess.
Yeah. And it's, I don't know if like a skill is making it too dramatic or putting too much emphasis on it, but I feel like it's something that took me a while to kind of get the hang of.
I don't know if I've got the hang of it. I think struggling with the block, like that artistic block, is, you know, more than half of the game for me. I block myself in all sorts of ways. Like, I do want to make the most kick-ass bass line of all time, you know? And why even write a bass line if it's not
if it's not the
best?
yeah. If it ain't gonna make Les Claypool just pack it all up, you know?
Right, yeah.
Have you ever heard of that book by Kenny Werner called Effortless Mastery?
Yes.
It's kind of about that subject of getting out of your own way, or like shedding the expectations that like traditional musical training might put on you about greatness or perfection or what good music looks and sounds like, to like let yourself enjoy it. And to have that be the root of why you do it. And I try to keep that in my heart, because I have a really big critic in my brain that's like always telling me I'm not good enough. And I loved that book because it was like write bad songs. Write stupid bad songs, you know, and like you don't have to put them out into the world if you don't like them, but like don't be afraid to do them. Do things that are silly, you know, and that's how we're later recording Unholy Night, a very sexual turn on Oh Holy Night, the Christmas tune. And that would not have been written if I wasn't just like free rhyming and being perverse and stupid. And I think it's hilarious and awesome, and I'm excited to record it. And I wouldn't have done that if I was too in my head about it.
Absolutely, it's going to bring a lot of joy. You were singing it to us earlier, and it makes me smile, and giggle, and it's good not to take yourself too seriously. I struggle with the critic piece myself. I need to read that book. That sounds right up my alley. So I appreciate that recommendation. And yeah, it's like what is the goal? You know, if I wrote the most heinous bass line of all time, and my nose is in the air, and I'm all like snooty about it. You know,
Face.
I'm making Les Claypool feel bad. He's packing up his bass. You know, I'd rather make him feel joyous with a silly song, I suppose. Yeah. Any other blocks in the room that we need to air out? Get some therapy going. Who, what, when, where, and why? I think we covered it. Is there anything else on this platform that we should chat about? You have a...
I feel like I could think of something.
Okay, yeah, let's all put our noggins.
Could we talk about something else while I get us? I'm sure I could think of something.
Don't be nice to ice.
I don't know off the top of my head.
Sure. Yeah. It's a rough state of affairs out there. They're here in Asheville
Yes.
at the
I
moment.
heard.
Yeah. I think more are coming, right? Troops.
Yeah, they're heading over from Charlotte, is what I've heard.
Yeah, same.
I still don't have anything
Yeah.
yet. Are we
Protect your fucking
waiting
people.
on me?
Yeah. Do you put those sort of messages into your art? Like, do you find that your music is political in some way? Sun Goblin or
Definitely
otherwise.
a message somewhat.
Oh, yeah,
Like, you
there's-
are fairly particular. Right?
Yeah, there's a lot of message. I wouldn't say that it's necessarily political. I mean, I think there's a lot of environmental messaging because I'm a conservationist, which is political, right? Because it's policy that allows us to strip our land of its resources to a severe degree. So there is policy there, but a lot of it is really more like appreciative of nature and trying to like, I don't know, pay homage, respect, and just like have this kind of like, you know, think about it, you know, and like recognize that we are not separate and different from nature, but a part of it. And that like if we fuck it up, we're really only hurting ourselves. So that message is definitely woven through several of our songs. But we don't have any like outright political anthems.
Mm-hmm. We're not going to take it, isn't it? You were playing that earlier. We're not going to take it to
cowbell.
I wouldn't
And
say that we
expect
wouldn't
nothing.
write
We're
a
not
song
gonna
like
take
that.
it.
We just haven't yet.
the sequel to We're Not Going to Take It.
Yeah.
We're
not-
still not going to take it.
Yeah. We have been taking it, but
Yeah.
we're not yet.
We realized that we took it, and whoops, we don't want to take it.
It is. Do you get out into nature pretty often? Like, we live in a beautiful place, and I wish I got to see more of it, you know. 2 or 3 hours out, or like I make some time, maybe even if I'm hiking like once a week, the vast majority of my time is still spent in like, you know, in suburbia.
Getting there.
Controlled buildings.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that preaching like a higher connection with nature is super noble because we're all pretty disconnected. Even if you're like a huge outdoorsman and hike, you know, a few weeks a year, it's still like on the minimal.
Yeah. We did get to the gorge
Yeah, we went on a
that one
hike
time,
on Labor Day.
but that wasn't every day. That's definitely the minority.
Yeah, we should do that again
Days.
though.
I don't think we've ever gone on a full band hike. I don't think the four of us have ever like gone out in nature together. We have gone camping. Have we all been there for a camping trip at one time before? I don't think so.
Just a cappella, all the Sun Goblin songs.
No, we brought a generator. We brought it home.
All the birds are flying out of the trees.
respecting nature by
That's right, by being like,
like the rock.
It's good stress, you know.
You stress.
Yeah, they gotta learn.
Or, yeah, no pun intended. EU stress. European stress.
Oh, I knew what you meant.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I think the only other subject I've got, not to put the shoe on the other foot, but I'd be interested to know, like, short-term, long-term, what's your vision for this space down here? Because it seems like the possibilities are pretty endless.
Oh, well, that's nice of you to ask me a question. Let me scrounge something up. Nice to reciprocate.
That's very nice.
Well, you know, I released my debut album in March, and that was a big deal. Kev played on it. I appreciate that contribution. And then I had a bit of a dip, like, what am I doing now? Existential crisis time. And then I upgraded the studio and added a lot more, like, mics and analog gear to get to a point where I felt like I could do professional work. And of course, as I was making all those upgrades and obsessing and spending a lot of time down here connecting cables, I thought about the wide, world of possibilities, both realistic and totally fantasy, of, maybe full-time, I'll just make cool music all day long. I'll just make synthesizer bleeps and bloops and somehow pay my mortgage. So, there's an ongoing, like, work-life balance, and it becomes really confusing doing music full-time because I think I'm, trying to make money with lessons or wedding bands or something like that. And then the creative stuff is also in the same territory. So, it takes, I was talking to Grayson about this as we were beginning, it takes doing music with friends. Thank you so much for coming and having a day of just creating music, recording for, just the purpose of putting something out there, of connecting. That is really revitalizing, because sometimes I do feel kind of lost of, like, what am I going to do? And the answer is this, I guess, more of this.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any, like, particular bands in Asheville you think would be cool to have on the pod?
Who's on your bands at the table bucket list?
Sure. So right now we did My Magnificent Nemesis for the first episode, and then Life Like Water is coming on. Yeah.
They're really, really good.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Yeah.
I really like Life Like Water.
Yeah, a little bit of a departure. These first three bands are pretty rockin'.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like more, I don't know what to say, new agey, hippie, flowy.
Getting the Hill Climbers?
The Hill Climbers, I'm in talks with the Hill Climbers.
Hell yeah. Man.
I'll get them.
Cool.
Yeah, bluegrass outfit. They are good. Another reason for doing this is to maybe check back in. I don't really go out to see a lot of live music, like not a lot of late nights for me. So I'm wondering who is in this town. Who would you recommend that I have on the show?
You know about Sister Ivy?
Mm-mm.
Sister Ivy's real good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll look into them.
Great.
I played with these dudes called Good Goat recently, and they were awesome. They might be my favorite Asheville band right now.
Nice. What kind of stuff?
It's like if Consider the Source was a little, like, dancier and more accessible.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I have seen Consider the Source. They're cool.
Yeah, they're monsters.
Weird time signatures and yeah.
Yeah, they're awesome. They're ridiculous.
Yeah. What about Sister Ivy? Are they?
They're like girl rock. And pretty good. I really like their guitarist, and they have a great keyboardist too. I also would love to recommend Jesse Velvet. They're very, very talented musicians, like crazy talented jazz musicians, but all of their songs are pretty silly. They have like
Okay, cool.
They have one called like "Who Took My Fridge," and it's like all their lyrics ridiculous.
Is it answered in the song? Who took the fridge?
No.
You gotta listen
It's
to
for
it,
the
man.
listener. Yeah, it's a great mystery
tell you
track.
But yeah, they're great. They're like super, super talented, but also like so silly. Mostly just so silly, and a great combination of those things.
Jesse Velvet? Mm-hmm. All right, I'm going to look into it.
Every single band member goes by the name Jesse. so that they're all Jesse Velvet. They'll be like, "That's Jesse Velvet on the bass, ladies and gentlemen. Jesse Velvet on the guitar." You know, it's so funny.
That is silly. That's good. Anybody else?
Daltones.
Oh yeah, the Daltones.
The Daltones would be a
Another
good
solid
fit.
band.
Didn't even mention the Daltones earlier when we were talking about other bands.
Well, we were talking about bands me and James were in.
Oh, okay. But yeah, the
How
Daltones
many
is
bands
another
are you
one.
in, man?
I can't. We're gonna eat the whole thing. I play the drums. Too many.
Yeah, you're busy.
He needs a break, man. He's tired.
The Daltones put out a really silly music video that's worth checking out.
Yeah, it's really
About,
good.
Like a laundry monster.
There's a laundry monster.
And
Totally.
it stars the chick from Blind Date AVL. What's her name?
Local celebrity.
Kayla Clark. Kayla Clark,
Yeah.
I think.
I don't know her real name, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, she's like super funny, and like it's her and her partner that I think are in that music video with the laundry monster from the Daltones, which is so cool.
That song's called "Even in the Morning." If you want to watch the video.
Mm-hmm.
Promotion.
Cactus Kate.
Oh yeah, Cactus Kate and the Pricks.
Yes, also in talks
Another
with
one?
Kate. I'll get her. Yeah, maybe February.
El Kabong.
El Kabong.
El Kabong, man. Not Asheville locals, but they will.
Talking about my old band from high school right now.
I'm just filling up time. I'm getting anxious, so I'm just talking a lot.
Anyway, well, any other promotion in general? Any other messages to send out to the world?
We will be releasing a sexy Christmas song called Unholy Night. Hopefully this Christmas season is not for children or anyone that is going to be offended by it, but it's going to be very funny. We're about to record it with you right now. Be watching out. There's a music video with it too. It's going to be funny. And come to Highland Brewing on Black Friday.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Advocated.
In conclusion, yes.
And in conclusion,
All right. This feels like an interview to me. I feel like we did it, y'all. I feel less pressure now that they're not live. I'm going to go in. I'm going to chop it all up. We're going to seem so smart.
Was the last one?
No ums. The live stream was live.
Okay.
The last episode of this wasn't live, but the last time
Okay.
I saw you guys
That's what
was
I
live.
meant, yeah.
I watched it on Twitch. I might be like your one view on Twitch.
Nice.
It's like, I don't know if anyone uses this platform for that kind of thing.
Yeah, I used to multi-stream that live stream everywhere. And I don't know. I was behind the times. I started it like a year after COVID.
Uh-huh.
I was like,
Yeah.
yeah,
Gonna chop this up into TikTok reels.
that's right. Yeah.
Do we need a dance?
Okay, let's make up a dance real quick. Okay, we got the wiggles.
That's it.
And then maybe a clap. Maybe like a wiggle, clap, wiggle, clap. Wiggle, clap,
wiggle.
clap.
Hey.
Really synchronized. Don't worry, I'll fix it in the edit.
Yeah, in post, it's gonna look great.
Definitely. All right, well, this is Asheville Notes. I'm Sam, James, Dan,
Hey.
Rory,
Ciao.
Kev, Grayson. Thank you.
Thanks
For watching. And, yeah, thanks for coming.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Bye.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Sam Irvin here for another mix demo. This is episode 2 of Asheville Notes. Sun Goblin, their song Pint of Sacrifice. I'm just getting started here. You know, one of the big challenges of any creative project is to start. And just getting through the holidays, Christmas, New Year's, etc. Sunday before I go back to teaching music lessons. And I am getting back in the flow of this mix, remembering what I'm doing here. And I have finished up stage 1. Typically, I try to comp all the takes, make sure that I'm using the various takes that I want here, getting some basic balancing and panning. That's kind of it for step 1. And I just barely started phase 2, which is to run each source into my analog gear here so we can A/B what that's like for the kick drum and the snare. But first, let's just get a taste of what the music sounds like. get the feel of the song. This is like a folk rock project. Pretty simple layout with the instrumentation. We got drums, bass, acoustic guitar, electric guitar, and the vocals. Relatively simple setup there. Some things that come to mind first, just listening to that, is that the low end is pretty non-existent or weak. I actually was curious when I started working on it, like, is my subwoofer on right now? So, of course, one of the first things to do with that kick drum is to fatten up the sub. I really like to get the kick happening down there 40 or below and have the bass fill in around 40, kick drum at 75, more bass at 100 plus. So sculpting that interlocking EQ is one of the first things to get straight here. Another thing that I noticed is that the guitar is quite reverbed out. Let's listen to just the guitar. Kind of sounds like it's in outer space, you know. I do have the dry signal, so maybe I can do something with that. The DI has his reverb on it. I got this 57 on the amp. Curious what I probably sent it through the API, and it does seem to be peaking a little bit. Which, you know, a little bit of crunch from the API, sometimes nice, but in this case, I'm not liking it. So it's pretty low in this guitar bus mix. Although the ribbon mic on the amp sounds really great. That's pretty clear. And we have this room mic a little farther away, and a stairwell mic super far away. So with the room mic and the stairwell mic, I'm adding even more natural reverb to his already affected reverb, and it's just getting a little out there, if you ask me. So that'll be important for me to clean up. It could just end up sounding like that cowboy or beach guitar sort of spring reverb vibe, which is okay. I think one of the things that I could do to fix it is to have the rest of the band a little bit more in some sort of space. So add a reverb, a room reverb to the rest of the band, so that it sounds more cohesive. They have a really nice organic sound. The drums are sounding quite nice without me doing much to him. Kev is a great player, and some of his riffs, some of his like fills are kind of not quite perfect. That's a good example of like a little bit of push-pull there with the rhythm. I like it. You can tell they're a real band. They play together often. So I'm not going to do anything to make it perfect, like auto-tune the voice. I think Rory's got a really nice voice on her own, especially once it gets processed and sits in the mix better. That'll be good. So let's go through one by one and hear everything. So we've got the drums. We've got the bass. Electric guitar, we've already talked about. We have this acoustic. There's some chords and the voice.
Still naked and basking when the cold front came in.
Love it. Let's build it out one by one. Drums, bass, guitar, acoustic. And voice.
Oh, the involuntary shiver.
I love that little moment right there. James got this nice shiver sound in his guitar sweetening. Whoop, wow, wow, wow. There's a whammy bar there. All right, not a whole lot to talk about. Plus, I want these to be a little shorter. So hopefully that's nice and informative. Let's get this other mix window up here and see if there's anything else to talk about, right? So we've got the drums set up, 13 or so mics like usual. We have the bass. Now, Dan wanted to use this bass simulator, but it was quite noisy. So, sorry, Dan, we're using the Rupert Neve DI, RNDI. I already talked about the electric guitar setup. Now, there are some background guitars. Let's see if I can find those. I got this nice mouse. All the scrolling you're seeing is now on this productivity mouse, this MX Master 4. And it's got like a horizontal scroll wheel. So here are a couple of those electric guitar backups. So I really wanted to get, I liked both of these parts. This is like a lower part of the chord. Really loved what he made happen there. But the end of the solo is this higher part. So together they sound really nice here. And it's nice and subtle, I think, so you don't really understand what's going on when you're listening to it. The second one is going to be harder to fit in, I believe. It's this really nice pattern. It's in a funky polyrhythm. I don't know if I'd call it a polyrhythm. It feels like a polyrhythm. Syncopation, maybe. And I'll need to fit that in over this guitar part, which is in a similar range, unfortunately, so I don't know how to differentiate them. So you can see already they're sounding very similar. They're hard to pull apart, so I'll let you listen to this main one. That's nice. They're both really nice. So, if possible, I want to be able to use them.
The sun was still shining, your golden beams with the rain drifting in.
Yeah, I think, Michael O'Shea, my buddy, who engineered my album, mastered it at least, and a very knowledgeable guy, said that so much of a mix or music in general is just impression, right? You're just trying to make an impression of something happening, hint at it, and that's enough. And that's definitely what's happening with this guitar part. You're like, oh, there's something extra happening, but you don't need to know exactly what it is. There is the end of the song. We recorded this acoustic part separately. Here we are.
Always death in exchange for life.
Nice finger picking.
Sacrifice I am holding up with my heart and holding our moments tight.
Whew. That low bass there at the end does it for me. Very sweet. That bass part took a few takes to get, because this last part's a little rubato without a click track or a tempo or anything like that. We recorded it separately to get this harmonic nice and nice and clean,
Always death in
which I think we succeeded. All right, yeah, that's about all to look at the moment. I wonder if I should have shown all of these various parts before they're mixed or not, but hopefully you'll see in part 2 in just a moment that everything sounds thicker. Oh yeah, that's another thing that I wanted to do here. So here is the kick drum. wimpy kick. This is, we have 2 mics on the kick drum, one in front and one on the beater. The front giving us more of a thump. I've got a gate on it at the moment, so that's helping out. The beater, just these little, these little pops. And together we get a nice attack. But it's even nicer when we get thickness. So this is post analog chain. Yeah, that's great. Here's a part that I'm gonna have to edit out. Hey. It's snowing, everybody. I think you got a good idea of the empowered kick there. And now let's go over to the snare. So this is tougher. I feel as though Kev tuned down the snare. The top of the snare again, we're going through the API, so getting some crunch in there on purpose, but maybe overdid it just a hair. I'll admit it. Then we've got the bottom of the snare, right, which is just more of the actual snare chains under the drum. And so I actually made those a little louder and more primary than the top. The top sounds floppy to me, I think. So this might need a little bit more work. It's got a little bit of verb on it too when I switch over to the processed version here. Here we go. This is it without the verb. All right, so hopefully you can hear that that's hitting a little harder. All right, so now we'll hear the drums, just the drums, with the unprocessed kick, and then we'll switch. Nice. It's a lot nicer. So that is only through the 8803 neve EQ, the distressor, and the maag EQ4M. I just got the neve master bus processor. Really excited. That's the last big thing on my want list for my studio upgrade of 2025, and I went for it, but I'm not putting it on individual sources, or at least of the drum set. So there's still a couple of other things to process, probably to crush a room mic or the stairwell mic. I'll take the entire drum bus and send it through my chain, including the master bus processor. That'll add a lot of glue, some stereo width, and some harmonic grit, warmth. Very stoked about that. That means that the kick and the snare and whatever else I do beforehand will have gone through the chain twice. So I really want to make sure not to overdo it and just give the impression of polish. Okay, this video is probably pretty long, so I'm going to stop it and I'll be back for part 2. Okay, phase 2. Good morning. I've put some work into sending everything through my chain. I will briefly show you my analog chain that I'm working with. We've got the neve 8803, distressors, the maag EQ4M, and the Portico 2 master bus processor. Very excited about that new piece. And so altogether we have like more of a surgical exact EQ, usually using that before the main character compressors, a little bit of a saturation with the distressors, then some color EQ, some more broad strokes EQ, and then we've got the master bus processor that I didn't use on everything, but will act as a bit of a glue. There's a nice limiter on it and stereo field editor. Yeah, but tried to have pretty minimal settings for that master bus processor at this stage because I'll be using it again on the master, squishing everything again at the end. Let's hear where everything landed. A big part of why I'm doing this is to practice using this gear. I ended up with this drum sound. Which I quite like on its own. I worry a little bit that I've squished it too much, but in general it's controlled. It's got just enough grit to it. I'm really enjoying where that ended up. I'll be honest that the kick does get a little bit lost in the whole mix for me, so I'm gonna worry about trying to bring that out in the next phase with the bass. Nice full round bass sound. This song's not, featuring the bass very hard, so didn't need to be way intense. Sometimes he's hitting that low E. I really want that to pop out. I suppose I do have this pretty much balanced the way that I want, but I will be going through in the next phase with my SSL faders, UFX, breathing a little bit more life into the volume automation. We have acoustic guitar. Pretty far in the background for that acoustic guitar. Love the way that this sounds. We're getting the clickiness of the percussive element of that acoustic guitar. But I also wanted some of the kind of low end of the acoustic guitar to be right against the bass down there. Because we also have this electric guitar. I wanted it to be in the higher register. A lot of reverb elements in this guitar. There's a room mic, there's the stairwell mic, and so I think I did get it a little washed out by putting it through so much compression with that reverb. If I did it again, I may want to take that reverb down a little bit, but that's part of the magic of analog mixing, that there's no going back unless I want to redo the whole thing. And time constraints in life are a real thing, so we end up with, there's a chance element in mixing that I feel doesn't get talked about so much. Not everything is an intention, just trying as you go to make it sound as best as you can make it sound, and then whatever you end up with, maybe drums that are a teensy bit more squished than you might choose if you could mix infinitely, if you had infinite time, right? Or a guitar that's a little bit more reverbed out than you might want. Next we've got the vocals. I've got this temporary verb off, so we'll just hear the dry. Everything's dry, so this second phase is just mix, my analog mixing chain. Phase 3 is to add any effects that I may want to add. We'll touch everything up a little bit more. yeah, so that's pretty nice. Got it nice and crisp. Those are all of the elements of the song. This is where the mix is at. Don't know what else to say. So moving on to part 3. Here we go. Okay, viewers, we are here and finished phase 3 of my mix. I'm really enjoying these phases. First comp, lining up all the parts. Second phase, running it through all the analog gear. This phase, we had effects. So we'll go one by one and see what we added here. First of all, on the drum set, got a low pass filter. So here's without it, and then we add that in. Whew, that gives some nice thump to the kick. Brings it out a little bit. I was really looking forward to that. It also lets me kind of intensify things whenever the chorus comes around. Yep. All right, so the chorus is right here, and you can see that I've jacked up the low pass filter a little bit and also brought in some phaser. So let's listen first to that low pass come in a little hotter. It's nice, even more thump to the kick. I think about that. I'm using the Moog low pass. It's sort of this like dynamic EQ with a shelf on the lows that kind of pumps. So it's a great way to get some movement down there in the lows. Although I am worried about a little bit of muddiness because I put it on the bass too. Before we get to that though, I'll show you the phaser. Always love phaser on the cymbals, Led Zeppelin style. It's nice. That's just like a little teeny chorus, but I really wanted it to explode, so I did something, on each part there. Let's hear it in the context of the full mix.
You pulled out my soul from the mouth of my den, still naked and basking when the cold front came in.
It's a tough balance because you want the energy to stay up as we move into that guitar break, but not quite as much energy as the explosive chorus. Let's check out the bass. We've got here the bass effects. Again, I think it's just low pass. So we'll listen to it without and then with it. A little bit of drive, right, coming from that Moog. I keep it in a little bit throughout the song just to thicken up that lower part. I'm wondering if I can boost the bass in the master. I know we're still getting some snare verb there. So, yeah, in the context of the full mix.
I'm red as the strawberries, freckles like kisses, awake from my condition. You pulled out my soul from the mouth of my den, still naked and basking when the cold front came in.
Dan, the bass player, is playing some harmonies there on the bass. Campanella is the word. So at least on classical guitar, campanella is when you let notes ring out over one another. And that in itself already gives a lot of weight to the chorus section here. The acoustic guitar wanted to put some chorus on it. Let's listen to just the chorus effect here. All right, so we've got some drive again from the Mogerfoger, this cluster flux, and together. That only comes in for these big parts. So there is the chorus here. I do have it swell through the verse. It looks like just a teensy bit. And then everything, you can see these effects come back in near the end of the song. When things are getting pretty intense. I'm trepidatious about how much saturation I've put on everything throughout this process. Recording in through the Neve preamp, there's a silk mode that adds a little bit of saturation. Then in the mix, I'm usually putting some saturation in on the distressors, and there's no amount knob for that. It's just on or off. You know, it's relatively subtle though. If I'm putting stuff through the master processor, master bus processor, it has more silk. Pro Tools in the past, I've used its heat functionality, which is sort of this like analog board emulation that affects every channel. I've left that off for this. Now, of course, everything is going to go back through the moog and the master bus processor and the mastering to add even more whatever I want, you know, probably a teensy bit more saturation on that front too. So this doesn't end up being very clean. This song doesn't sound clean. We can listen again here. It's got...
The leaves are changing their colors.
It's got this, you know, a lot of character, a lot of vibiness, which is good. It's not like the last song that I mixed, that prog rock song. There's not a ton of effects going on. All the instruments sound like themselves. I suppose the guitar has a pretty reverbed out sound. So that's where I left it last time. A little bit too out there. I wanted to bring in the dry guitar. Then we've got some mini Foger drive and FX, which I believe is flange and my secret weapon in the studio, the Mogerfoger Murph. That thing sounds awesome. So let's listen one by one. Here we've got just the guitar, what I already had. The dry gives it some more crisp intelligibility. There's a little bit of dry in the processed mix already, but giving it a little bit more is good. Then the Mini Foger drive. I do believe he's using the blues driver, so again, mixing saturations, mixing distortions. Without and with. Just a little bit more oomph. And then we've got these effects, which really, let's listen to just these effects. Right, there's like these stereo effects happening. They're pretty subtle, although they do come to a head. There's this part, yeah, right there, where in the context of the full mix, you can really hear it poke out, which is pretty cool, I think. And then it fades out for that climactic moment, so the guitar gets clearer and clearer. as the vocals kind of sink back into the background. I thought that was a nice moment. On the vocals, we've just got 2 different reverbs. Got this plate and this hall. Sounds a little bit of a longer tail. For these, I used the Big Sky MX, the Strymon pedal. It has this dual mode that has extremely limited functionality. I was hoping that I could get kind of like matching phase correlated, similar sounding space, but different modes, you know, the plate, but the plate with a short tail, hall with a long tail, but the decays have to match up, and so I just recorded them separately, and I think it worked out. You can see that I am bringing the verb in and out. One nice place to do this is on this kind of vocal solo moment preceding the chorus.
Echoes like kisses, awake from my condition. You pulled at my soul from the mouth of my den, still thinking.
So yeah, everything's coming in there big time on the chorus, including these guitar parts. There was something else with the vocals. Oh yes, I put in a vocal delay as she's kind of bending. So creating an even bigger sense of space there, with some stereo delay. That's great. And then you can see up here that I rode the faders throughout the song to bring stuff in and out as I saw fit. I added some room reverb using Pro Tools Space plugin. That's extremely low in the mix. I think you can see when everything's playing. It is barely there. I don't actually know if it's doing anything, but maybe subconsciously it's giving a little bit more cohesion to the project. I may do something, slap a limiter on it or something, again for the chorus or for those bigger sections to give a little bit more space to everything, but I forgot to do that before I recorded this video. I think that's what I did to everything. Again, a limited number of parts. I did not really do anything to these guitar backup parts. They sounded just fine to me on their own. Relatively easy tune, but you know, the analog process is time consuming. Instead of just slapping a chorus on the acoustic guitar, I had to run the audio out from my interface, plug in some patch cables to that chorus, dial it in, and then record the whole thing. Realize halfway through the recording that it's a little hot, so I'm going to turn it down, start the recording over, you know, this sort of thing. And I do think that digital is more convenient, but I hold faith that all these analog processes add up to a song with more character and more vibe. And another hope is that the clarity that I'm recording everything with these nicer preamps and microphones, balances out the sort of like dullness maybe that can happen with too much warmth, right? So much analog processing and everything kind of like gets rounded out. So trying to keep it sharp and crisp through each stage is part of the science, part of the art, I suppose, of this. So we'll see if it all comes together in the master in the next video. Good morning again. All right. Stage 4, mastering. I did a few different versions of this. I wasn't quite happy with various, you know, little things, guitar presence, vocal presence, bass. So had to send this music through my chain multiple times, print it, check it on headphones, on my cell phone, on a little Bluetooth speaker in the car, see if I liked it. I think that I settled on more of a country sound. I sent it to a friend. He mentioned that it's kind of a pop country tune, and that if I turn up the vocals, turn down the guitar, it'll sound more poppy, right? With the lead vocalist sort of shining out front. And so I did that, and I gotta say I liked it. And it's more simple. I was trying to find this balance, this more of a rock balance where electric guitar is up, drums are up, bass is kind of less prevalent, a lot of clickiness in the kick drum and stuff like that. I guess I wasn't going to that extreme, but originally I was carving out some of the 300, 400, what felt like muddiness to me, but I think I ultimately wanted to embrace that, to leave that bassier element in. I cranked up the voice, which feels a lot simpler. It gives you one thing to focus on throughout the song, the singer. The guitar also, I tried turning it up when the singer wasn't singing for it to pop out, but I think with such a reverbed sound, it being down in the mix makes it sound like a little farther away, which maybe adds some sense of space. So I liked it down a little bit for that reason too. But we can get in here and listen to the difference. So you can see I did 4 different versions of the master. So I know I've showed you my chain quite a bit, but I did want to zone in on the 8803 up top. That's what I was carving out some of the bass with, because the EQ4M mastering EQ, the Moog, doesn't really have anything in that 300 range. I was scooping out some of the mids at 650, and you can see that 160, I did end up boosting it once I embraced the bass, but not nearly as much as 40 or the sub down below that. The sub is catching some of the kick, which I really feel in my car speakers. Didn't end up using the 8803, but it's good at carving out stuff that I can't grab with this. This was the first time I was mastering with the MBP, and it was nice. You could see that I was letting the transients through. I had this pumping along to the beat. The song was about at 125 BPM, so that's 2 beats per second. This is pumping at roughly twice, that speed. Or it releases before the next beat. 1 beat per second. You could see there's the 1 there, half of that, 0.5, and we want this to be pumping in between those beats. So half of a second. Got the threshold to just barely be licking the reduction, and at the quiet parts it pushes a little bit more during the heavier parts. A low ratio here, a little teeny bit of silk red, although the unit's not on right now. So then I brought up the gain so that it was hitting my interface and Pro Tools right. So lifting up that gain just a little bit, and then bringing the limiter down onto it to find where that would add just a little bit more reduction. Using this unit as it's intended, I believe, pretty light on the master bus. You could see that just all of these parameters could go so much higher or deeper, but I don't know when anybody would ever do that. Maybe that's worth some experimentation. Let's listen to the difference here. First, we'll listen to the main mix with... This is the main mix without the master. That's with quite a bit louder there. I will go ahead and take off ozone. That's adding a little bit more thickness, and we'll get to that in a moment. But let's listen to it just with the analog gear. All right, first main mix. Let's start it same place. And with the master. Without just the main mix. With
I buzz like the hive, course with the white water, and I could lay under your brilliance.
yeah, so you can hear it sounds thicker, it hits harder, it's a little louder, so of course we're biased to think that that's just better in general, but beyond that, it's got this this movement. It's more angular, right? It feels a little less natural, but a little bit more heavy, right? It's got more weight to it, which I think increases the emotionality of it. I was just feeling this week that emotions give gravity or weight, to any particular situation or event, and the weightiness here, maybe it works in reverse too. We got to hear that. Then I added on ozone, like I mentioned, but everything with superty duperty light settings. You could see here a 0.4 dB difference to bring out the vocals. Just adding a dB of bass, tightening up that low focus, just very teensy, adding some punch. The equalizer suggestions that it gave me, I really minimized. Same with another compressor here, multi-band, right? Different degrees of compression at different frequency bands. Same here with the widening. Now there is a stereo field editor on the MBP. I'm going to go back to the motion sickness camera here. But you can see that I'm only using a little bit of width and depth. You could see that this also has multi-band options, but you can only choose one at a time. So I refrained from that. I just use these as broadband, full, universal widening, and then here we're widening different frequency bands. My favorite of these little plugins is Clarity here. Not sure what's going on with it. It's some sort of dynamic EQ, but it's really bringing a little bit more crispness, detail into the recording. The stabilizer does something similar. You can see it's set to country here. I made a decision. The band may not be thrilled about that, but it is what I think sounds best. They described this music as folk rock, folk elements, rock music. Art is subjective, I guess. It's the bottom line there. But anyways, you can see I'm only barely touching this. It was making the cymbals a little harsh if I dug in too much. Dynamic EQ. I didn't put soothe on the whole mix. I used soothe on the vocals, and I really like that dynamic EQ, the Oak Sound plugin, Soothe 2, which does this at another level. Then the maximizer, and here there was that back and forth. So there's this analog unit of measurement, dBu, which equates to voltage inside the unit. And then I'm bringing it into the digital realm, a different unit of measurement, dBFS. Gotta watch out for that sort of conversion. And then after printing it, there's a sort of psychological loudness unit, LUFS. And this is how it's going to appear to the listener through different streaming services. So too loud on the LUFS side, and YouTube and Spotify and whatnot is going to squish it. The louder that you're making it in this stage, the more you're squishing it too. And so the first couple that I printed were very squished, super duper loud, and lost some dynamics, lost some bass presence. Yeah, really learning a lot about this process here on the mastering side of things, now that I'm having to juggle the analog master bus processor with the in the box. And you do get something from both. So you just heard the difference between the main mix before and after my analog chain. Let's listen with this ozone bypassed. So here's the music without ozone, and here's with.
Oh, glorious heat
Without.
of summer, the quickening in the blood.
And with.
I buzz like the hive, course with the white water, and I could lay under your brilliance until I am red.
So you can see that, yes, it adds a little bit more volume, but also a little bit of clarity, detail, polish. I just use these words over and over again. Like when I'm teaching music lessons, I use the word practice a zillion times. And whenever I'm wearing my sound engineer hat, I'm using the words polish, detail, crispness, clarity, depth, width, weight, thickness. And I think I gave all of that stuff to this song. Very stoked to be done with it. I believe that's it. Not going to obsess too much because, again, I already spent a lot of time on this, and there's not infinite time in the world, and I lament that. I wish that I could spend forever on each artistic endeavor, maybe clone myself or something, but unfortunately, that technology doesn't exist yet. And so this is what we've got for this song, and next I move on to editing the video, and I hope you enjoy it.
Hell yeah, dude.
Morn.
How do you do?
Guten morn.
Good.
Oh yeah, it's about to go down.
Recording.
Recorded.
Cool, cool.
All right. For the scratch track, I'll just put you right in DI. Perfect. And then here's the CD too, so we can all just stare at Kev.
Sick.
Yeah, put the pressure on. I've got this like huge time lapse happening, and so we'll like record everything and then do the interview last.
So like this is footage right now?
Mm-hmm. That's why I just turned to it.
Yeah, don't get all shy on us though.
I'm gonna do this for the next like 30 seconds so that it's 2 seconds of the time lapse. Yeah.
I'm gonna stand really still, like I'll be like this, the straight guy, the contrast,
I'm
the
way
goofiness.
Throw 'em. Thank you, sir.
Are you wiggling some more?
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
That's a trick you really
You know,
can't
dude,
help
the coffee is sick, man. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Where'd you go?
Drip.
Oh yeah, nice.
I dripped.
I'm a little caffeine head, man, so.
Yeah, nice.
I dripped.
I'm a little caffeine head, man, so. It's needed.
Would you help
Yeah,
with
if you're awake,
Oh, that's gonna make the footage. You want a whole kit or one shots?
Give me the whole kit and I'll see what's actually working at the moment.
the third time you might
Third time might be a charm, right?
Third time could be the charm. You know what? I like where your head's at. You want to do one more, Sam?
Let's do it.
Okay.
Yes,
Cool.
I do want to do one more.
Hell yeah. Put me in, coach.
What do you think?
I don't know if I like 2 or 3 better. But yeah, I don't know if I like 2 or 3 better.
All right, I'll make the choice.
Cool.
I'll obsess over it.
Cool. I'm playing Silk Song. You know that game?
Dude, it's
the
so
Hollow
hard.
Knight, right?
Yeah.
That's the Hollow Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I want to play that.
I gave
I'm
up on
thinking
it,
about.
man.
Is
Oh,
it really
did you?
hard?
Yeah.
I was thinking about getting it on
It's-
Steam.
It's hard, but I think in a good way. I think it's like punishing enough.
Okay, that's
There
kind
are-
of sick.
There are times when you're fighting the same boss that you're on your 10th run or something like that.
Oh, that's fun though.
And you're like, why are they making me run through the whole level? It takes like 8 minutes to get to the boss, and then you're impatient by the time you get there. You just need like the reserve to be like, nope, I'm
That sounds like
locking in every step of the fucking way.
Yeah, that's like classic though. Like
Right.
video games sometimes like lose that now because it's so user friendly.
I know. And
All right,
there's
I'm gonna
always
get sucked. I love video games. We gotta move.
Okay,
we gotta
okay.
keep moving. Is that
22 different breeds.
Sounds like a
The
handful,
truth
man.
is, I feel like it's always a little
Like, she
trial
has a
and
lot.
error.
She's energetic.
For me? Yeah, let's
Um,
take these XLRs out
She's
and
a sweet
see
girl.
like,
Yeah.
what.
And it makes me happy
May
for
sell
her to have like successful runs at home, not in
Yeah.
the crate.
Where should I plant this?
Maybe like
Yeah,
right
how old
here.
is
Yeah, I don't really have any notes at all.
Okay.
Sounds great.
Awesome.
I do like your bass feature. I mean, like at some point in there, there's like no vocals, and it seems like you're doing your thing. I don't know
Yeah.
if there's a guitar solo there, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. But still, those embellishments are nice.
Just enough, right?
Yeah, exactly. All right, here we go. Yeah. Some slick parts.
Yay.
That slide.
The slide, I know. It's like, I think it sounds good all the time, but I had to like turn off autopilot and go into manual and just like, don't do it every fucking, but anytime there's a break, it's just like, why not?
Yeah, feel good ink.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
don't know. It works every time.
Cool, cool. What do you think? One more just for the heck of
Yeah,
it?
yeah, I can do that. Yeah, each take there's like a couple dumb things I did.
And each one has something cool that's different. I'm excited to listen to it for a month.
Oh, I gotta sneeze. Hold on.
Bless you.
Great,
Thank
did you
you.
catch that?
Yeah. Zoomed in on it.
Okay, good.
Cut.
I'm sure I made the most attractive faces, as that was a pretty.
Slow-mo. It's coming.
The like raspberry in my arm was pretty good too. I didn't just sneeze into my arm. I like burbled my arm as I did. I was like,
Perfect. I got the mics close.
Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you for understanding my vibe.
you ready?
I'm ready.
For the true vibe.
I am the vibe. We are the vibe. This is the vibe. Overall, I think the first take was a better take, but that was a better ending.
No, okay.
I missed one spot. There's like a stop that we wrote in like yesterday or 2 days ago. That's like a chunk right before we went into that big, we call it the big cry, the big solo sweeping section at the end.
Okay,
Like
nice.
that's the moment where if this was a movie, somebody would be like running in the rain, sobbing, you know. So I missed a little spot there, but I got it right, I think, in the first take. Yeah. Cool, we'll keep that take.
Cool.
Are you really a paladin?
I suppose. Yeah.
Have you ever played D&D
I played Baldur's Gate 3.
as a paladin?
Yeah.
Earlier he was like just being like, he's like I just like to help, and I'm like, God, you've got such paladin vibes. Course with the white water that could lay under your brilliance, holding a moment's time.
Nice.
Pretty good first take.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got pretty good about it.
Very
yeah.
nice. Yeah, me too. But
Yeah.
of course, do you want to do another
We
one?
should always do another one just in case he's.
That's right. Yeah. It feels like sometimes you're getting closer to the mic. And
Yeah,
farther
for
away
more
from the mic.
intimacy in certain moments, and should I not?
No, that's good. I
It's
just want
just
to
like
make sure
my
you're
go-
doing it on purpose.
Yeah, it's my technique, but if I'm doing it too much and it's sounding like I'm coming too far forward, I can not.
No, I'm just gonna turn it down just a hair.
Okay.
Which, too much information. That's great.
No,
What
it's
you're
okay.
doing is great.
Turning down my mic is something that is really normal for me.
Okay.
Every sound guy ever is like,
No, I'm just a few dB.
ew, ooh.
It's a powerful voice. That bend at the end is great.
Thank you. I think whole first take, best take, just like last time. The ending was better the second time.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yes. For sure.
808 right at the end. Boom.
A little late on that first note.
It's a little late because I don't know when she's gonna do it.
Yeah.
Is it possible to just drag it to the correct spot? I don't mind doing it again, but without like seeing her, it's still gonna be like trying to guess when she's doing it, you know?
Yeah, let me give you one more swing at it, and then I'll stretch it. if I
Okay.
need to.
It's like a quieting right before it drops. You got it over there?
What's your first note? What's your first note?
E. And then doing one of them? Yeah, but the opening at the end. Oh wait, no, it's not. It's not even this part. I'm not even playing this part. Man. It doesn't matter, dude. Maybe try it one more time, just because it's kind of embarrassing, but.
It's cool. I'll play it later. Dude.
One more time.
Okay.
One more time. Then we all go. All right, it only took three of us, but we got it. Is that recorded?
Huh?
Is that whole debacle recorded on here?
Yeah. Definitely
Nice,
put the
dude.
whole thing in.
That's gonna be good outtakes.